President Muhammadu Buhari's influential nephew, Mamman Daura, said yesterday that there is no need for zoning the presidential ticket to any part of the country. He said Nigeria's political space should be left open for the best candidate to emerge as president. Regarded as the most powerful personality in Buhari's administration, Daura, in a teaser for an exclusive interview with the Hausa service of the BBC, said the most qualified person from many parts of the country should succeed his uncle. Buhari's second term will elapse by 2023, and nocturnal moves have begun in different parts of the country as to which part should produce the next president. There were allegations that some elements from the north were perfecting plans to retain the presidency. Our correspondent reports that since the country returned to civil rule in 1999, power had been rotating between the north and the southern parts of the country. The quest by blocs in the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) to take over the control of the party ahead of 2023 had created serious uproar in the polity until President Buhari intervened. Relative calm was achieved when the National Executive Committee (NEC) of the party dissolved the National Working Committee (NWC) in June 2020, paving way for the constitution of a National Caretaker Committee chaired by Governor Mai Mala Buni of Yobe State. President Muhammadu Buhari said yesterday that he was satisfied with the way the Mai Mala-led committee was bringing party members together. Daura's position on power shift. Daura said since Nigerians had tried the rotational presidency about thrice already, it would be better to go for the most qualified candidates in 2023, irrespective of whether he comes from the north or south. Rotation has been done once, twice, and thrice times and three times. It is important that this nation should be united as one. The most qualified, competent should be elected and not someone who comes from a particular zone, he said. There were allegations that Daura is the leader of the purported cabal that plays key role in decision-making at the villa. When asked about how he advises the president, he said, "Yes, I usually visit and offer advice. If Buhari asks me, I offer advice, but I don't just go and tell him what to do. You don't do that with the government." However, mixed reactions yesterday trailed his position on the 2023 presidency. Spokesperson for Afenifere, a pan-Yoruba socio-cultural group, Mr. Yinka Odumake, in a chat with our correspondent, said the South was not unmindful of the fact that the North would want to have a shot again in the presidency after Buhari. According to him, the South envisaged many candidates to indicate interest in the presidency in 2023, but the country must stand firm and respect the zoning agreement. The northern candidate would come out definitely, but it is now left for the country to say whether they want to accept the move or they should insist on the common understanding that the power should rotate between the north and south. I heard him, according to what Yinka said, Mama Daura talking about competence of whatever. In 2023, he would understand if there is anything called competence. We are watching how things unfold, he said. Udumaki said he expected the South to forge a common front from the time comes to ensure that the presidency returns to the region in 2023. Chief Shupo Sonibare, another chieftain of Afenifere and rotational presidency said rotational presidency could not be discarded without restructuring. Gentleman agreement cannot be jettisoned, the Niger Delta Group. Also speaking, the chairman of Niger Delta Rights Advocates, Darlington Onwaju, said that the call for the cancellation of rotational presidency was myopic and of no relevance. He said the rotational presidency and zoning formula were part of an unwritten agreement between the South and the North, saying that the gentleman agreement should be sustained. He said that rotational presidency was akin to federal character principle and quota system, saying they were sine qua non for peaceful coexistence. He recalled that from President Olusegun Obasanjo okay, benefited from the agreement and wondered why such agreement should not be sustained. Rotational presidency had provided an opportunity for weaker region to have a shot at the presidency. When we are talking about rotational presidency, South and East should be given top priority. Those calling for its cancellation are myopic and of no consequence to me, he said. A chieftain of the APC, Mr. Joe Igokwe, in a chat with Daily Trust said, given the diverse nature of Nigeria, rotational presidency should be maintained. He said going by the huge population of Nigeria and its size, there was the need to maintain the balance of power by allowing it to go south in the 2023 presidential election. Also, an advocate of rotational presidency, Dr. Wumi Bewaji, said the statement by Daura was an invitation to anarchy, stressing that zoning was central to Nigeria's democracy. He said the statement by the president's nephew at the time could heat up the polity unnecessarily, adding, "It is a most unfortunate statement, very disappointing." The Arewa Consultative Forum said yesterday the issue of rotational presidency is not a constitutional matter but only adopted by political parties for their own convenience. The ACF National Publicity Secretary Emmanuel Yahweh responded to Daura's statement, said the Nigerian constitution does not make provision for rotational presidency. It is done at the convenience of political parties and not a constitutional practice. There is nowhere in Nigerian constitution where there is provision for rotation. Yahweh further said if political parties on their own decided to jettison national rotational presidency, they have the right to do so. Also, a Kano-based political analyst, Dr. Abati Bako, said the rotational presidency in democratic practice was an outdated system. Democracy is a regime of the majority and minorities' voice should be listened to for the fact that minorities' voice is one of the 57 key elements of democratic system. He said in both advanced and less advanced democracies, the issue of rotational presidency is contrary to the norms and rules of democratic principles. Hence, the issue of the electing someone based on regional, religious, or ethnic sentiment is not democracy. We can call that democracy, he said. Peter Patrick, a former head of the Democratic of Political Science, Kaduna State University, said that those who felt rotational was still useful for the country should push for constitutional amendment for it to be incorporated. What Mama Daura said is not against the constitution of the country. However, because of peculiarity, rotation helps to calm nerves, especially the nerves of those that have been marginalized. Politicians capitalize on many things to drive sentiment to their advantage in Nigeria. There is the issue of religion, tribe, and region. So, in order to have a balance, it would be proper if different groups are given opportunity to lead the country. This is because in every region, tribe, or region, there must be somebody who is competent to lead Nigeria. However, as a political scientist, I would not support something that is not constitutional. Therefore, those that strongly believe in rotation should use the National Assembly to amend the Constitution of Nigeria and that of the APC. Perhaps the presidency should be rotated among the 6 geopolitical zones. This is because even when you leave it between North and South, there is still going to be issues. For example, in the North, Hausa Fulani being the majority would always emerge from the North. Therefore, the 6 zones should also be recognized by the Constitution, he said. Patrick, however, advised political parties, especially the leading ones, to always consider the unity and development of the country in whatever decision they take. Another statesman, Chief Chekwas Okore, said competence alone will not make a person good president. Okore, a former presidential candidate who spoke with Daily Trust in a telephone chat yesterday, said a competent president who does not care about the issues of national unity, equity, and justice, among others, would not heal the wounds of any country. whichever way it is, whether it is by rotation or not, there is always the need for a competent person to come in as president of Nigeria. But the issue of who is competent or who is not competent, or who is more competent than the other, is something that is left for the electorate to decide. Before the electorate can decide, the parties also promote their own candidates. So it is also left for the parties to bring up such candidates that will attract the interest of the majority of the electorate in terms of elections. And no party will want elections to elections and lose. APC is in power now, and by the grace of God, it will complete its 8 years. PDP was in power for 16 years, so APC will do everything constitutionally possible to not to lose power just after 8 years, and a lot of factors will come to play. The issue of national unity, the issue of equity, the issue of justice, the issue of sense of belonging, all these issues will combine with the issue of competence to be able to be in power. APC is looking at that. PDP is also looking at that. So this is a democratic contest, and it is in the best interest of the parties to consider these issues that are already raised by why considering competence, he said. So guys, you can know that of course this issue of rotation is not in the constitution. Whether if PDP agrees to that, whether it's going to work for them is a different ballgame entirely. But when we talk about rotation, like they said, is a gentleman agreement. But I just believe that the North is trying to play a smart one, and it will be very, very unfortunate if really Tinubu came in contact, or maybe to work with a Buhari, and there was no written agreement on that this issue of rotation. Oh, if it is this, if it's not this, after you I will come in. If it's just by words of mouth, definitely it's going to it's going it's a big blow. It's going to be a big blow on him, because let's even forget, okay, whether people are saying this or not concerning Tinubu, everybody knows what really happened. We cannot continue to beat that over and over again. But the issue is that he has worked and helped Buhari, but it will be a very big embarrassment to him if at the end of the day he will just be flushed out looking for competence. Because like one of the people that commented that, brought out their own suggestion, there is no region that does not have competent people. It is always the issue of not allowing them to go there. There is no region that does not have a competent person to be presented. If they really want to do the right thing, you cannot say that. So it's not left for them. But I just believe that the North is trying to be so smart. They will say it is not constitutional, but now they will now know it is not constitutional. And what Mama Daura said, that they have tried it twice. You have tried it twice. Has he gotten to the southeast? If you are really a patriotic person, you are trying to bring this country together. That is to tell you that these people, they say they are the ones dividing this country. Any little thing now, they will be talking about all this sociocultural group or some individuals making some statements, but their statement that is very, very divisive, and yet they will not see to that, because that singular statement alone, that, oh, they've tried a rotational 3 times. When they tried it 3 times, so must it be only 3 times? Why can't he? Has it gone around the old zones? No, it has not gone around. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Those are the people who are always there saying, oh, all manner of things. Is one of the people. He said, oh, he does not advise what is this man's name? Buhari. He only goes there when he asks him to do so. And meanwhile, Aisha Buhari has been using his name to sing that they are the ones who have hijacked the president or the presidency. They've taken it over him from him. So he's not going to come here and be deceiving people. So that is just my own point of view. They are just trying to be smart. And someone says, okay, and who are you to decide for the nation, Malam Daura? The South is getting your hints. The vulture is a patient bed. 2023 will determine the fate of Nigeria as a corporate entity. And one thing again is that it is the electorate. No matter how, whether you say it, whether it is constitutional or not constitutional, everybody knows what they know, and they will go by what they know. Because you cannot just say, oh, it is not constitutional, then you want to bring law into it. But whether it is constitutional or it is written or not, the masses know what is obtainable, and they will answer when the time comes. Whether you are going to say, it has to be a competent person. So do we really have competent person? Even as we speak now, do we have a president that is competent? That is a question that should be answered by Nigerians. In 2019, Northerners leaders were shouting all political parties must zone their candidates to the north. Today is a different story. The same North are telling us over been we have over been fooled and technically been deceived by Northerners. When are we going to realize once wants to see ahead from northern status deceitful? Is Buhari your brother competent to rule Nigeria? Is a question, if not for 419, people that impose him on us. But when Yaradua died, the northerners were crying that Jonathan used their term. So zoning is the best option for the country. The best candidate like your nephew Buhari. Of course, now people are asking, are the best candidate is Buhari is the best candidate or a competent candidate that we can even talk about? Nigerians will answer these questions. So, guys, let's have your take. Leave your comment below in the comment section and let's have your opinion.